I would move along to approve minutes of December 7th, 2022. Gentlemen, I don't have those in front of me. The tax assessor collector, Ms. Chrissy Hightower, you have to provide those. So if she comes in a minute, we can discuss that. Otherwise, let's move on to number 3, which is discussion and action on election administrator report. Mr. Torres, you have the con.
Well, I do have these other things on here. They're action report for the chairs. Do you want to just discuss those? I figured that's what that is.
Sure, go ahead.
So number 5 is actually supposed to be up with me, of course, dashboard maintenance. So recently state has come forward with something that passed something or another not that long ago, to where they are enforcing that all of 254 county dashboards that are online with the state are to be maintained month by month and make sure that everyone's cleared out on them. So that's what we've been working on. Well, we had been working on, we've gotten down to about 109, and all those are street issues and ranges and just new subdivisions that we don't have set up yet that we're working on. We've gotten with Karen about any street ranges. She actually had a book that she wasn't aware of that gave a listing of all of our roads with the ranges in them, so we can go in and correct and maintain those easier. I had talked to Mr. Reinhardt with the city, and he told me that he would be getting me plats of all of the new subdivisions coming in, so that we would have the ranges for those to set up in all the new streets.
I had a conversation on this subject with Mike McKibben out of the CAD, and he believes that he should be able to give you access to his GIS software.
Same stuff that Karen.
Exact same stuff.
Okay, cool. That'd be even better. Essentially what Karen has, she showed me on her computer, it's GIS, just GPS equation for her to do her not only coordinating, but that also shows us all the houses and where they're at. So then we'd be able to go in and look at that and find, okay, this is where this person is actually at. There is a house here now. We can go ahead and either update or add to that range, or create a whole other one if need be. But yeah, she I went and talked with her about that, and of course she said there might be a hiccup on us getting that, but when she showed that to me, it made me think of a book that Gay Lynn had back when I first started here, and she would use that to look up the ranges. And I asked Sharon or Karen about that, and she's like, well, I have this book here, and I was like, it seems the same, but then when I got to the back, it showed a whole index of all the streets and the cities that they pertain to. So I was like, this is perfect. She's like, hey, she was, I will get my assistant working on getting you guys running the list for an Excel file, so that we can have that, all 3 of us at our computer desktops to work on at any given time. So, but yeah, we've just been mainly running on that. We had quite a few people that have moved in through DPS. We had a little over 1,000 from December through the end of last month. And we've already worked that back down to, like I said, about 109, and we're just keeping the daily ones coming in right now.
So you're saying that between December 1, 2022 and beginning of.
And not all of them are going to be new registry, but there's been, all of these were processed through the DPS portal from DPS that were sent to us. So, this could be people just getting updates on their IDs, or
okay, it doesn't necessarily mean demographically we received that.
It doesn't mean we've actually got that thing.
Okay.
I mean, we are.
I just want to clarify that for anybody watching this on YouTube, that we're growing, but that would be way too fast.
No, for the DPS growth that I'm seeing is mainly the subdivisions that are growing. I wasn't aware that Pecos was growing over off the industrial side. Passed by there the other day. We were checking out rent houses for Mr. Stevenson.
Oh, okay.
He's definitely wanting to move into the county, so we were going out that way, checking out some places, and we just saw it was just going. Like, okay, wow. So. But yeah, we've been working on that, and of course, number 6 kind of just crashes right into the same thing with the street index maintenance. There's a lot of streets that are new with these subdivisions coming in that we're just trying to get the information on, so we can actually set them up and get all of these people that are coming in registered at their appropriate locations.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just getting the guys more familiar working with the Eagle View map system, learning how to when to turn on and off layers to get the appropriate information that they're needing. That and just getting them comfortable with editing the street ranges. Just being comfortable with that, because that can be a little nerve-wracking, because one little wrong detail or coding just throws everything completely out of whack.
Okay.
Other than that, right now, it's just dealing with the cities and schools that are gearing up for their elections. Once we have all of those. And there's 4 that I can think of off the top of my head that I know will be having elections right now. Once I find out for sure, have a final rundown on who's gonna be having it, I'm gonna get the guys to actually build these guys from the ground up. Since these are smaller elections, they don't,
Yeah.
there's no gravity toward it. They won't have to worry about, these are just easy elections. And have them build it from team all the way through the actual election.
Good.
Good.
And even get them trained up on how to do the check-in, even though we normally don't use those at city and school. But just so that they're aware, of course, I've had my issues recently, so I definitely want them to be trained up on the event that I'm unavailable.
Now, let me lovingly tell you, let them do it, let them screw it up. And let them figure out how to fix it. I mean, obviously
Before
before the
election
election
day.
happens.
Yeah.
Before the election happens. 'Cause I mean, I know, I mean, that's one deal. We talk about trying to help train you how to, that's one of those things is when you got employees, you get them, yeah, let them fly. Let them, you may see them doing mistakes. Let them, as they're practicing and learning, let them make those mistakes. And then like, okay, let's do this. Oh my gosh, why are there 10,000 people voting on this election? I don't know. Why is there 10,000 people in this election? Go figure it out and get back with me. So that's good. That's good. Good. Yeah, because that's the beauty of this new system. But yeah, if you get one thing off, that can make election day absolutely.
Yeah, they're good with processing applications. They're pretty good with the ballot by mail applications, and they're definitely good with working the actual equipment. It's just the buildup, the backside of it,
Yeah.
that they haven't really touched on. Brandon got it a little bit when he first started. I had him build a few of the elections on the election build, just ran him through it. Of course, he got to the point where he couldn't do anymore because there was interpretation stuff or recordings. So, I took it from there, but yeah, he did it. It's pretty straightforward. The manuals for all of our equipment are pretty straightforward. But yeah, other than that, it's just been playing catch up and getting them just more acclimated to using the systems.
What are the other known city and school elections?
Right now, I know Grandview is having one, Blum. City or ISD, I can't remember which one for them. They're having one, I believe Penelope ISD had reached out, Hubbard ISD had reached out. So I know those for sure are having it right now. The others were still just the other day waiting on the cutoff to see if they had anybody, so I haven't heard back from them just yet.
Another loving comment.
Mhm.
I know if Blum City is, I'm previously talking with the secretary of the city of Blum. So she was very frustrated with you years ago of just trying to communicate and stuff. So this is one of those wonderful bridge building opportunities to reach out to her and just like, hey, I heard your mom, and
Gotcha.
that
Keep the repertoire.
yes, absolutely. And see if she needs. I'm trying to remember her name.
Remember who the mayor was out there for the longest time, they were always trying to get a hold of.
It was Brendan for a while. I don't know. I think it's his mom. No, it was his mom. That was mayor. Because that's what that fist fight in that council meeting was over. Just kid you not. I sent Tom up there for that. Okay.
But yeah, that's another one of the ways to get people to come to elections and use our trained up folks and equipment to.
Have you heard anything from Bynum School or Bynum, the city about?
I know that. ISD. Put out that there was going to happen, which election was coming up, but the cutoff date was the 17th, so I don't know if that's changed now or not. And Bynum City didn't even put anything out that there was going to be an election. So.
I've got a call with their superintendent today, but it's not over this, but I'll bring it up when I'm with him to see what's going on.
As far as I know, I haven't heard of anybody running to the ISD,
Okay.
but since the cutoff's already hit,
Yeah, I heard from quite a few of them, and they're like, okay, well, we'll get with you in the next few days when we have more information. Whether or not we're gonna be having it. But
Well, that would just even be good for you to call each city and school and run, check and be sure and like, if nothing else, like, oh, well, thanks for calling and checking. No, actually, this, okay, well, I'm check it to be
Write it on a
sure.
list.
Yeah.
You've got the contact emails for all those people.
Majority.
I would think, so if not, I'll give you my updated list of what I've got. Shoot out an email in case they can kill us.
Yeah, because that's just, things change so quickly, and certainly in this county, if you think you got all the, like, oh no, they left last week, so and so's, well, I'm glad I called, you know.
There has been a lot of turnover as year or two. With the cities and
Agreed.
schools. A lot of the schools have new people that I'm talking with. who've never-
So it's good, and they don't, well, those good people may not even, don't even know you exist,
The
so that's a
city,
good reason to reach out.
Yeah, one of them was like, hey, I'm new with this. This was the email I was giving. Who do I send this to? I was like, I'm your point of contact for any elections.
well, I know the city of Mount Calm is having a race, but I don't know how they're running it or who's doing it. I was informed that they're gonna have a mayor's race over there contested. And then the city, I think, just started, I'm sorry, Mount Calm ISD. I haven't, I'll call and ask about that. I know they've had some turmoil. They asked the superintendent to find a new job a couple of weeks ago and follow up, see what's going on.
Okay.
Anything else?
Mm,
What about equipment? Where are we at?
our voting equipment's fine.
I mean,
Check-in is what we'll need to look into.
Correct.
I think once we get through the May stuff. I'll go ahead and start looking into, I do like what VOTEC has. I know our stuff is just dated at this point and probably needs a lot of updates itself just to keep running correctly.
Is that a possibility of updating this equipment or no?
I don't see why not. I know whenever I had talked to one of the guys at conference, they had said something about a possible buyback of the old equipment.
Okay.
And then, kind of.
I mean, before I ask the commissioners to allocate more money for new equipment, I gotta make sure that there's nothing out there we could have done it for, this longer. I understand that everything has a shelf life. It's only good for so long. I'm not asking you to run anything beyond its end of its useful life. But at the same time, if you dig into that update business, if it's a possibility, I'd appreciate it. Because if it's not something that's gonna work for us, at least I have that to present in front of the commissioners.
I would have to get with possibly Melissa and Phil to check out the laptops and
Not a problem.
whatever updates they need to possibly.
And then also get with the folks at VOTEC. I know that we have several legacy software systems around here that if we ever update the computer they're on, that software.
That's one of the things with them. It's running on an old version of Java, and if we update it, then it doesn't work.
Gosh. Is there any way they can update the software? Or is that binding software?
I don't know if that's the update. I'd have to get with them, that's for sure.
Okay.
Is that just the buyback, like, just send back the hardware, we'll send you the new one, we'll dump this, probably the new stuff.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, they have the exact same thing as what we have, but just fully upgraded.
Operating system. Okay.
Everything, even the scanner itself, it's got its own built-in light. It's essentially like a Walmart scanner. It's one of those that just sits
Mhm.
and the person can just slide their license underneath it. The person doesn't really have to touch it. As long as their license is in our system, they can scan it and pull them up. If not, they'd have to look at it and type it in. Well, pretty sure these laptops are touch capable, so. I know a lot of our judges constantly try to touch the screen, so that would work for them now.
Okay,
If we went that route, unless there was another check-in company that could do better. But I think our judges are used to this equipment. It's just their biggest gripe is that some of it just wants to fail at times. And they're
That's my complaint with it. I mean, I don't dislike the software itself. I just
I
like
like the
the
way
fact
it
that
works.
it's.
I like working with VOTEC. I like working with Joaquin and Mike.
Okay.
I have a good repertoire with them. We always are able to troubleshoot whatever issue it is.
They're
If it is at the last hour, we still get it done.
I just don't want that stress on you, The fact of the matter is the equipment should worked on the day we tested and we show up.
Well, I mean, we'll have
Doesn't
everything
work.
up and running, ready, charged for it to dump the jar file into it. And then, we go to log in to do so, and it's like computer system busy, and it never wants to open up for us. It's like, you were just fine the other day when we put you in charge.
And so that's my
Check.
issue with it, is that continues to happen. It's an additional stressor for you. It's a stressor for the judges, election day is stressful enough.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go ahead and get VOTEC people down here to give us some options, what we have available to us.
I'll reach out to them and see.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. So next, party chair reports. Yes, sir. Okay, so your hand up, what you got? Oh, it does volunteering down there.
No, I don't volunteer for that anymore. What's going on right now? It's all the legislation. The communities. I'm just trying to see what happens
Wonderful.
with this legislation. And
Hopefully
we're out for the 2024 election.
the taxpayer didn't have another bad session, so we'll see.
Which is nothing but equipment, if I'm correct, in the separate legislation, there was one of the things that got slipped into a bill,
Okay,
that was 2026. You have to replace your machines that scan the vote.
Yeah, they want it to be to where the V drives are one single use. They wanted to make it to where our scanners are a single use instead of reuse.
Well, yeah, that's, I think. If looking at the language and if you change one of those, if you just change one of those words. It's, you know, 'cause I think the idea is the fear that this, whatever the votes recorded on could be manipulated. And I think, you know, our state rep and I were discussing this, and, you know, you can get encrypted thumb drives that can only be saved on once.
Yeah,
well, I mean, that's essentially what HART is.
that's
I know,
yeah,
that's like, now we're looking at like, you know, we're kind of really already there, folks. And if that language is like, the equipment has to be replaced, like, Senator Hall, if you're willing to give out millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to the entire state of Texas for every election to buy a new scanner, every time you count a vote, so be it.
It's just another unfunded mandate, quite frankly.
But it's a,
I don't expect it to survive in the 26. I
No.
don't think we're gonna fight it.
it is it's an impossible law to meet in reality.
And there's no teeth to it currently.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's, the Clinton EA has reached out to our state rep and then others like, hey. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people just didn't realize that had gotten through. I suspicion that.
I
would
didn't,
be
I got
taken
an
care of.
email from one of the judges that was an article over that, so I was like. I had to call that judge, I was like, you sent me this, right? Yeah, I sent you, okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I can't be too safe.
But yeah, but, you know, in the reality, and I really wish some of these people, it's a good thing with our state rep, we have run elections before, here's all about elections. But some of these other legislators who
Yeah.
decide what election integrity is, it has never operated an election.
And that was my first
Yeah.
things that came pouring out of my mouth as I was reading it. I was like a bunch of no nothing.
Well-
So I've never really dealt with this.
I remember dealing with Senator Hall a couple years back.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I think it spends a lot of time coding solutions to the problem that
Amen.
I think that will be, that, there's no way that that's gonna happen, so it'll be cleaned up this session. But no, it's,
Well, and that was one of the selling points with Hart was that the V drives only work with their system.
Mhm.
Nobody, I could go, I mean, you could pull the stuff up on the computer, but you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. I mean, I can go in there and format it and clean it, I can use it again. If I was like saying I'm working on the current election and that same election already on here, like if I were running testers, oh, you already coded it, well, I need this recoded for action, not test.
yeah,
So.
and if the final results, you know, all that thumb drive, it wants it that night and the judge closes it. And then it's saved it, and like that is a one-time drive only on that thumb drive, then which is where there, to me, that answers that question.
Good. Anything else for your chair report, sir? Chairman Moore, anything on your chair report?
Just that same thing, I was gonna bring up that very same law, people are aware of it, so it's not gonna be a problem. And it is really interesting talking to the people, left them very, you know, it's, what have you done, people? I explained to them that, you know, if you go to the system, we basically, you know, everyone's gonna go back to, not everybody.
Yeah.
Some people want to go back to hand counting ballot, you know, basically,
That's essentially.
Before, computers or anything like that, you know, the old, it is still a code of how to count ballots at the precinct level. And the hand procedure and all that is not gonna go to hand counting ballots. However, what I really do love about our system is except for hand counting ballots, we're there. The votes are tabulated at the precinct level. You know, I mean, it's like, if you wanted to break it down, our system,
Okay,
is
and
there.
that's the whole point of the tape. you get the tape at your location. It comes to me. You already have a hard copy there. You can tell if I did something wrong when it gets here and I put my stuff in, it comes out different than what you have.
And I explain that to people and they just,
They don't understand the system.
yeah, you're in code, election code part, da, 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 da. I had no idea, like, we'd come up with solutions, spend some time, you know, that's why I said all about Texas election code is very, very good, so. No, I'm proud of the decision we made as a commission and help Commissioner Court to get the part system, I think, like I said. Except for some hardware glitches in VOTEC, software is great, I'm loving, just if we combine with a, you know, we get more cities and schools, hopefully with more general uniform dates. That increases voter participation, you populate all the elections that are that person good, I mean, I think we're all going the right direction.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
I also think having an agreement set with the cities and schools keeps our judges, even on the off years, it keeps some of them trained up.
Yes,
So
agreed.
that's something to work on to refresh themselves going into our singular November elections at the end of the year.
Right.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's set a date if we could for our next election for the next quarter. If there's something that doesn't work for the group, let me know. But right now, looking somewhere around May, if possible. I understand that's the end of the legislative session. Mr. Orr, that might be difficult. I don't know, but that second week of May, we should still be pretty good on things. How does a 10th? Oh, no. Forgive me. I'm teaching probate academy that week to judges. The 3rd or the 17th appear to be open if we like this Wednesday at 8:30.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. Anybody else in the group? Then I'm going to tentatively put this down for May the 3rd. And we will do that at 8:30 a.m. and we add that to our calendar. All right. Gentlemen, anything further that the group needs to take up, the commission needs to address this morning? If not, thank you all very much for a quick meeting, but thank you all the same for being here. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We stand adjourned.
Easiest second, always get.
That's